put a Chase Bank.
It's not like a freedom of speech thing?
If you're corporate, if you're Chase Bank, you can put here because they sponsor these guys.
Right.
But,
I have a Chase Bank account. Does that count?
Can't do that. Corporate sponsor us.
That's just a nice display spot there. With the court in the background and everything. That's all good. I hear you.
Where's the car go? Does the car go here or does it go there? Does it do it on the road? Right there. Great job, Isaac. Great job. And he said no. Why did they want to use this one?
Well, they were going to film something like that. They were going to film a show.
Oh, it's look.
I
love your sign. Let's see. Oh, that's a good one. CPV. Do you have your own book? Ta-da!
Wow, look at that thing.
Look at that. Oops. This is a little bit of Orange County folk art. Here we're taking a not so mild jab at Prococo, Joseph Prococo, and Peter Galbraith Kelly of CPV, who had off-the-record conversations, pasta dinners, fishing trips, where they discussed fast-tracking this toxic power plant, which seemed mysteriously to appear in Orange County without the informing of the public. ZD is a reference to the fact that these guys, in true Scorsese fashion, fancied themselves sort of sexy thugs, I think, and they would code their discussions about bribe money and call it ZD. So that if they were overheard, it just simply sounded like they were speaking about pasta and not toxic frack gas moving through pipelines and the byproducts and particulate matter emitting from the 275-foot smokestacks of this love project of theirs. So we say on Valentine's Day this was a real love story between CPV and one of the governor's top aides and closest personal friends. And on the back of the ZD box, the ingredients list all the toxic matter and frack chemicals that yeah, shall I turn it?
Sure.
Okay, gives you a little background on once you get the ZD served up in Orange County by way of CPV. This is what we'll be breathing, ingesting, drinking in water, and experiencing for 40 years. This is a 40-year plan. So our beautiful natural resources, our protected farmlands, the black dirt farmlands, our water sources, which source New York City, our farmlands, which grow the farmers market food that people cherish here, and of course the wonderful array of diverse wildlife that now find healthy habitats in Orange County will be no more. And it's happening right now as we stand here. The pipeline has not got its water quality certificate, but the Millennium Company is building it nonetheless, destroying eagle habitats, plowing through toxic waste dumps that haven't been properly abated to get the pipeline in as quickly as they can. So we thought we'd bring a big box of ZD here today to remind everybody what we're talking about.
Broken hearts, filthy air, frack gas damage everywhere. Broken hearts, filthy air, frack gas damage everywhere.
Valentine's Day is an appropriate day to send the message to Governor Cuomo and to all of our elected officials that it's time to break up with fossil fuels. Woo! Break up with their lobbyists, break up with their donation money. It's time to love New York, love our air, love our water, and put people first.
Yes.
Yes. It's time to end pay-to-play corruption.
Yes.
Pay-to-play must go away.
Pay-to-play must go away.
So our message is this trial demonstrates the intimate relationship that this company executive and also core development executives had to power. Access to power that we in the community were never afforded. There were meetings, there were dinners, there were fancy lunches, breakfasts, deep-sea fishing trips. And all of that time there was discussion about promoting this toxic, dirty power plant that is right now poisoning the children of Orange County. And so today on our Facebook page, we just released a video message from the children of Orange County. Did that message go out? Yes. Okay. I'm sorry, I've been in the courtroom the whole day. So we just released a video message, and you can go to the Facebook page and see it. And it's a message from the children of Orange County. And they talk about the things that they love, their favorite tree, the pond in their backyard. And the message is, love New York, don't frack it up!
Love New York, don't frack it up! Love New York, don't frack it up! Love New York, don't frack it up!
I remind everybody, when you take that oath of office, you are making a commitment to the people of New York State. Right. Yeah. And by getting in bed with these lobbyists that is demonstrated in this trial, they are breaking that commitment to us.
Yes.
Their obligation is to protect our health, our safety, our children, our air, our water. This was built on bribes and built on lies. Built on bribes and
built on lies. Built on bribes and built on lies. Built on bribes and built on lies. Built on bribes and built on lies.
This is Scott Martin.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for everybody coming out. It really means a lot to all of us in Orange County to see all the support from New York City and beyond, obviously. We all know this is about everybody. It's not just about us in Orange County. We are ground zero for the destruction right now, but you know, if we don't stop this now, we're all going to be the victims. So thank you guys so much. I wanted to just start with a quote from our distinguished governor, considering the corruption trial behind us here. He said, "Too often government responds to the whispers of the lobbyists before the cries of the people." And that's what we're doing out here. We're crying, Governor Cuomo. Please listen to us. Listen to us. We keep coming down here. We keep coming up to Albany. We keep shouting out to you, tweeting you, doing everything we can, calling you over and over again. Just please listen to us. We're victims here, and we deserve to be heard. He also said that he believes in global warming and climate change are real threats to the planet. Okay? This is all coming from a governor who put a ban in New York State on fracking in 2014. He said when that was announced, "I think it's our responsibility to develop an alternative for safe, clean economic development." Yeah. That's from his mouth. And yet we're all standing here 5 years later with a frack gas power plant almost built in Orange County, one started in Dutchess County, frack gas pipelines traversing all over the farmland in Orange County and beyond, and we need to put a stop to it right now. Yeah. And that's why I just want to read one more quote, because this one is just crazy. Upon signing the resolution to ban fracking in the Delaware River Basin, Governor Cuomo said, "Protecting and preserving our water resources is paramount to ensuring the health and well-being of New Yorkers and all residents living within the Delaware River Basin. With this resolution, the DRBC builds on New York's leadership to protect the environment and public health from hydraulic fracturing, while protecting the vital water source that millions of people depend on every day. I am proud to stand with my colleagues from Delaware and Pennsylvania in approving this critical resolution, and we will continue to work on developing the necessary regulations to codify this common sense resolution." It's common sense to ban fracking. Yeah. Why are we here? Okay? And so on that note, I stand here today for the people of Pennsylvania who are being fracked to death and will need 150 new fracking wells every single year that CPV Energy Valley in the town of Wawayanda operates. And who knows what that number is going to be once Cricket Valley opens up, which is almost twice as big as CPV Energy Center. I also stand with my good friends in Orange County. My good friend Jared, whose daughter, who already has asthma, They live in the village of Goshen. He woke up the other night, 2 nights ago, to take his or right before he went to bed at 11 o'clock. He took his dogs out, and he was hit in the face with the smell of diesel exhaust fumes from that plant. And he's 10 miles away in Goshen. This power plant has already started testing, and now we all need to get together and put it to an end. I also stand here for a woman that I'm building a kitchen for right now. She's 90 years old. She's a lifelong resident of the city of Middletown. She's 90. Okay, she already has lung issues. This is gonna put her in her grave. And I know it's a hard thing for people to hear, but that's what this is about. This is about corruption for pollution and poisoning. This isn't corruption for some string of McDonald's or restaurants or something else. This is about poisoning the public, although McDonald's is also poisoning the public. But this is about poisoning the public, and we need to put an end to it. Corruption has got to stop. So anyway, thank you everybody for coming out here.
And I'm going to ask his lovely wife, Melissa Martens, to speak next. Because, you know, they have just been sacrificing so much of their time. They have little kids, but, you know, they're doing this for their children's health and safety, because we're all parents, we're all moms and dads, and we have no choice. We have to fight for our children's future. So, Melissa Martens.
All right.
I have a 1- and 3-year-old sons, and we had no idea about this frac gas power plant until a year ago at this time. And it, you know, until it was constructed, that's when the community found out. It was kept from us. There was no notification, no public comment. And when they started building, that's when we got an idea of what was going on. And we contacted everybody to help us. Everybody passed the buck. And we have 40 years, they're telling us, 40 years of VOCs, of particulate matter, every day, all day that we have to breathe. My son will be older than I am now by the time this place runs its course. And we just can't allow that to happen. This was going to be our forever home. You know, everybody is shocked in the community. Everybody is outraged. And, you know, we've had diesel testing over the last couple weeks where we can smell it, we can taste it, it burns our eyes. And when the natural gas comes, it's going to be invisible and odorless, but it's still going to be there. And that's what scares us. It's not going to lull us into some complacency just because we can't taste it anymore, because we know it's there. And we're not willing to give up the next 40 years, a lifetime, so they can frack for, you know, a necessity we don't need, and for profit. We have to come first. You know, the air and water for generations long after we're all gone deserve this. And that's why we're here.
Yay!
All right.
Okay, so, you know, this pathway that ends over here now actually began in Orange County, but actually began in Albany, and then went through Orange County to get over here, where we are today. You know, where the egregious excesses of state power are on demonstration for the entire world to see. The other day I was at the courthouse and some tourists walked in, and they just walked into the trial, and they had no idea what kind of trial it was and what it was for. And they were a little out of character, and I said, "Why are you here?" And they said, "Oh, we're just tourists. We just want to see what's going on." And they asked about the trial. They said, "What is this about?" I said, "Well, this is American democracy on trial. This is American democracy on trial. Because if this company is allowed to get away with what was testified to in this trial, what the documentary evidence shows, then we do not have a democracy anymore in this country, and we have to work hard to change it. In that respect, one of the ways we can change it is to change our elected officials. And I am really pleased to introduce our next speaker, who has the courage to take on Governor Cuomo's $30 million campaign fund, and he's doing it with people power and with integrity and with truth on his side. Please welcome a courageous, courageous person, Terry Gibson.
Thanks. I want to thank you so much for giving me just a few minutes to stop by here and support you at this important rally. My name is Terry Gibson. That's a P for progressive, in case you want to know how to spell my name. I am a former New York State Senator from the Hudson Valley. I intend to primary Governor Cuomo as a Justice Democrat with the help of the people of New York.
All right! Yeah.
But today I'm here to say this, that we don't need a court trial to tell us what we already know about hydraulic fracturings. Yeah. We already know, we've known for a long time, that it's a toxic process. It's toxic to our families, it's toxic to our water supply, it's toxic to our food supply, it's toxic to our state, it's toxic to our planet, and we should not allow any form of fracked gas in this state. It should not come in a truck, it should not come in a pipeline, it should not come in a power plant, it should not be here in any way, shape, or form. We know that. We also don't need a trial to tell us that the power of our state government in New York has been given to the corporations. It's been given to the corporations by this governor, who has received more money from corporations in the history of any governor in New York State. If we want our power back, if we want to end frack gas in this state and other states in the country, then we've got to take our power back and start electing people that want to put our needs first instead of the needs of the corporations. That's all right. That's why in my campaign for governor, I do not accept donations from contributions. Any campaign for governor anywhere should be funded by and for the people, and that's exactly what we're doing. And I hope that you will join us in this cause. All right. Now listen, we have a lot of work to do here. Obviously, this has gone way too far and on way too long. When we talk about building a campaign with people power, we're talking about what you're doing right here. What you're doing right here is hard to do. You're trying to stop something that corporations with millions and millions and millions of dollars have already put into process. And the only way you can stop it is by coming together like this over and over again and electing people that want to work with you. I am one of those people. I want to work with you. What I'm trying to do is hard too. I'm trying to unseat somebody who has millions and millions and millions of dollars, and the only way that I can do that, the only way that I can help you is with your help. So I invite you today to join me. We will take frack gas out of New York, and we will make this state 100% clean energy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What's happening here is kind of happening all around the country. America's becoming an extraction economy, and fossil fuel lobbyists are buying up our politicians all over the country in order to get these massive infrastructure projects through. And one of the organizations that has gone right into the belly of the beast and has been fighting the federal agency that is funded by the oil and gas industry is a group called Beyond Extreme Energy. They sit right at the doorsteps of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and they don't give them a day's break, holding them accountable and demanding that they stop supporting fossil fuel expansion and start supporting renewable energy. So I'm going to ask Ted Glick of Beyond Extreme Energy.
All right. Thank you, Pramila, and thank you to all of you who are fighting in Orange County, as people are doing around the country. I mean, there are literally hundreds of organizations that are groups that are fighting, that have gotten themselves organized to fight against pipelines and compressor stations and export terminals and storage terminals, and on top of all the fracking. I just want to talk about one thing. Gas is not clean. Natural gas is a dirty fossil fuel. It pollutes our air. It is worse than coal when it comes to climate change. Natural gas is essentially methane. About 90% or more of natural gas is methane. Methane, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, just a couple years ago, the UN body of a couple thousand scientists that has been studying this issue of climate for 3 decades, they said that methane is 86 times more powerful as a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. And natural gas, which is methane, it leaks all throughout the process of getting the gas out of the ground through fracking, of storing it, of transporting it through the pipelines, the eventual burning of it. The estimates are by independent analysts who have done serious studies are that it's likely that there's at least a 3 or 4% leakage rate, potentially as much as 10% of that gas leaks throughout this whole process. Natural gas is at least as bad, let me say this again, natural gas is at least as bad as coal in terms of its impact on changing the climate, and probably worse. So in addition to all of the pollutants that affect people's lungs, affect their health, in addition to all of the risks that come from having pipelines and compressor stations in your community, risks of explosion, risks of fires, safety threats. In addition to that, it's literally killing the world. It's killing the possibilities of a decent future for our children and our grandchildren. So, unfortunately, too many politicians from both parties see that shifting from coal to gas is supposedly progress, but it's not. It's not. It's a big step backwards. Renewable energy is here. It's affordable. Yeah. It's competitive. Yes. I saw recently that by 2020, in almost all of the United States, wind and solar will be cheaper than the fossil fuels in terms of as a power source to generate electricity. Yeah. So why are we building export terminals? Why are we building these CPV plants, new gas-fired power plants? It's all about pay to play. It's all about corruption. It's all about ties between the politicians and the moneyed interests. That's what we have to fight, and we have to keep doing this. We have to keep coming out. We have to stay connected. We have to keep organizing. We are making progress. More and more people see this issue, and more people will see the need to take these steps if we continue to work together and keep fighting. We need to do this, and again, congratulations to the people who have continued the fight in Orange County and beyond extreme energy. Absolutely, we'll continue to do all we can to work with you and help support you in your efforts.
Thank you. So the next speaker I would like to invite up is Laura Schindel from Food and Water Watch. You're going to do some chanting too, right?
Yeah, if you all want to refer to your chant sheets, I want to do a little song with everybody.
Oh, yes.
Starting with Cuomo and fossil fuels.
Yes.
Ready? Cuomo and fossil fuels,
sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G. First comes bribes, then comes permits, then CPV, then we all get polluted. That's not all. That's not all. Our climate warms and communities fall.
Woo! Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. My name's Laura Schindel. I'm a New York organizer for Food and Water Watch.
Yoo-hoo!
The Percoco trial happening inside shines a light to the toxic relationship that exists between our government and the fossil fuel industry. The industry gets a free pass to pollute our communities, all because they're in bed with our elected officials. This doesn't only chip away at our people's health and our environment, but the very integrity of our political system and our democracy. Yeah. It's time for Governor Cuomo to break up with fossil fuels.
Woo! Yes!
Woo! Right. And he should do that. A divorce, yes. And he should do official. Right. He should do that by pulling the plug on the project that is so clearly, deeply embedded in corruption and bribes, CPV. Yeah. It's a toxic relationship, and it's the residents of Orange County and New York State that are the casualties. Governor Cuomo, this Valentine's Day, we implore you to love New York and break up with corruption. Break up with fossil fuel lobbyists. and break up with CPV. Break up with CPV. Break up with CPV. Break up with CPV. Break up with CPV.
Break up with CPV. Break up with CPV. This is a Valentines card that we are going to be delivering later today to Governor Cuomo, asking him to love Orange County and love New York and don't crack it up. And one of the images you see here is of our famed black dirt region. It's a world-famous mineral-rich formation in Orange County, and the power plant will completely contaminate this rare soil in the black dirt region of New York. The power plant actually sits right on top of many black dirt farms, and this is where a lot of New York City's farmers market food comes from. And we're talking, so we're talking about our food being poisoned, that our children are going to eat. Orange County has a lot of dairy farms right next to this power plant. This is a protected agricultural district. It should never have received one single permit were it not in the financial interest of Joseph Percoco and Todd Howe to get that power plant built. And that's what you hear every day in this trial. All you hear are the exchanges between these three people conspiring as to how they're going to move this project forward every single day. How are they going to get it financing? How are they going to get the PSC to come on board? Something really interesting that was testified to today is that Todd Howe said that the old PSC commissioner that came from the Patterson administration was allowed the PSC to be independent of the second floor and of the chamber, and they were not cooperative in getting CPV's power purchase agreement off the floor. They were slow, according to the testimony, and they were not acquiescing to the second floor. And that is the reason, according to Howe's testimony, that the commissioner of the PSC was fired and a new one was hired. And that was Audrey Ziebelman in 2013. And sure enough, after that change, the proposal that CPV was pushing for moved forward very quickly. So again, you see the kind of influence these companies have, that they could change. They could, change the director of the Public Service Commission. I mean, this is an agency that is supposed to safeguard the public interest. So we're sending this card to Governor Cuomo, so please remember to sign it.
Yes, I'll have a pen.
Joan is here, and she has a marker, so please sign it before you leave. We have, there's another group, the Stop the Algonquin Pipeline Expansion, and it is a pipeline, the AIM pipeline, that actually connects to the Millennium Pipeline that is going to feed the CPV Valley Power Plant. And the AIM pipeline also has another CPV power plant along its route in Connecticut. And sure enough, that AIM pipeline was also given a free pass by our state. I'll let Tina Bonger talk about it. Tina?
Yeah, hi everybody.
Come on out here, Tina.
From Peekskill, New York.
Tina, can you come here?
Quarter mile from,
Tina Bonger from Stop the Algonquin Pipeline.
from Peekskill, and we live about a quarter mile from the AIM pipeline and Indian Point nuclear power plant, which is due to be shut down, as we know. In December, and they say all politics is local, we had the Indian Point Task Force closure meeting at Cortland, and we had the ISO come and tell us that not only is the power from Indian Point not needed, neither is the power from CPV and Cricket Valley. You can see that's on record. Go to the Town of Cortland website. You can see these independent grid experts testify to the fact that we don't need this energy. And the reason we don't need this energy is because of renewables. It's because of energy efficiency and green habits and standards. We've got to step up, and we've got to support the renewable fight. I'm so grateful to Pramila, to the Sane Energy Project, We are living in a frontline community, and we need a voice from you. So with that said, we are going to go visit Governor Cuomo on Sunday, February 25th, and we are 20th. Oh no, I'm sorry, 25th. Sorry, 25th. I'm reading the wrong flyer. 25th from 4 to 5, and we are praying with faith leaders, with local faith leaders, for the risk assessment. We are praying to Governor Cuomo to release the risk assessment he promised us 2 years ago. Yeah. He has spent $250,000 of our tax money to one of these rich consultants. We can see from this trial what that means. Okay? We do not have that risk assessment. In March, we'll be doing another press conference. Thank you to SAPE and also to Riverkeeper. We're going to be hosting a press conference at the local Indian Point closure meeting. So thank you all for your support. We're fighting fossil fuels. And the last thing I want to say is we should be doing what Massachusetts has a bill in doing. Stop all infrastructure. That's what Massachusetts is doing. If Cuomo wants to be an environmental leader, he's got to step up and stop fracking infrastructure.
The vigil is in front of Governor Cuomo's home in Mount Kisco. There are flyers being circulated. We'd love for everyone to join us, especially faith leaders. And just one other point, New York City has recently announced that it's divesting from fossil fuels. Then why should this plant be continued? Construction and use of this plant should not be part of the plan for New York City.
When's the vigil?
The 25th.
I have the
Sunday the 25th from 3 to 5.
Yeah, right here.
Didn't get one.
If you can get to Mount Kisco train station, we'll have a shuttle to bring people to the home because we can't park. The governor and his family have made sure of that.
Thank you, Camilla, so much.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mike Schweinsberg. I'm the president of the 504 Democratic Club, which is the nation's first and largest advocating for the civil rights of people with disabilities. And I have to believe that chief among those rights is the right to life. What should be pointed out here, it has been spoken to by great parents and activists, that these emissions are toxic and they can create respiratory conditions in people. True. But what can't be missed is that people with disabilities who are surviving severe respiratory illnesses, this presents a death sentence to them. It's not creating the disease, it's killing them. So on behalf of people with disabilities in particular, I beg the government to please reverse this awful, awful situation and close down this disgusting power plant. Thank you.
In 2017, in Governor Cuomo's State of the State, I have a quote here from him. He said the state must double down by investing in the fight against dirty fossil fuels and fracked gas from neighboring states. And what happened in 2017? He expanded fracking infrastructure in New York State. 3 months after he made this statement, he said, pipelines in general? Okay, that's fine. All about natural gas. There are 68 days to April 23rd. That's the day after Earth Day. We are organizing now with thousands of people, and we are going to take over the state capitol building and not leave until he makes a commitment to halting all fracking infrastructure in this state. All right. Who's in? Yeah. Direct action gets the goods. He has to be held responsible. And 3 groups in this state have already escalated to direct action. Protect Orange County, Resist Spectra, and We Are Seneca Lake.
Yes.
We are growing as a movement. We're getting pissed off. They're not listening to us, and it's time for us to take over their home. Additionally, where we will be taking over, the governor has made a plan to power the Empire State Plaza with a dirty fracked gas power plant just down the hill in a low-income community of color called Sheridan Hollow. Governor Cuomo wants to actually power the state seat of our government with dirty fracked gas on the backs of the people that live down the hill to power the white power that is sitting in the state capitol building.
Yeah.
We say no!
No!
We say no!
No!
No! Please join us on April 23rd. We have an action camp the weekend before, 21st and 22nd outside of Woodstock. We can get trained, build community, and we're going to shut down the State House on April 23rd. Woo!
Hi, my name is Jamie Cromwell. I don't have a whole lot to say. I would like to clear up one thing. We don't have a ban on fracking. We have a moratorium. It doesn't have the power of law behind it. It has only the whim of this governor and the whim of the next governor. So if we want to make a change in this state, we have to make sure that the next governor is a progressive who understands the danger of fossil fuels and these kind of power plants. There is corruption in Washington, there is corruption in Albany, there's corruption in this city and in every town council. And the only way we're going to do it is vote for those people who don't accept money from PACs, from large corporations, and from dark money. Those are progressives. We can demonstrate all we want. We can even go to jail. It doesn't stop anything. What stops anything is changing this government. If we don't change this government, we will lose our democracy. They are dismantling this country. They are violating the Constitution. They are abrogating the Bill of Rights. It's up to us. And the only way to do it is to join together, raise our voices, and put our bodies where our hearts are. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey,
This is the saga of a love story. It's a love story that spans generations. The people before us who lived in Orange County recognized the extraordinary diversity of nature and air and water there, and they bequeathed it to us, and they worked hard to preserve it, and they didn't even know us, and they loved us enough to do that. It's our job today to pay that forward. And when I smelled the choking stench, and it was choking, of diesel one morning as I opened my door to walk my dog, I was overcome. And the first thing I did was I reacted and said, oh my goodness, something has spilled somewhere, a dreadful spill, and then it washed over me. That is the smell of CPV. And I got online, I hit Facebook, and I said, anybody got anything to report? And immediately I opened it up and I saw conversations. It was the smell of hatred. It was the smell of greed. It was the smell of inhumanity, disrespect. It was obscene. It was exploitative. It was the smell of corruption, and it is the smell of our future, our children's future, 7 generations, if we don't everywhere, not just within the borders of Orange County, but all across this land, speak up and say we won't have it.
All right.
And so this is love in action today that we're all here. And we want to make sure that our love and our responsibility moves forward in the next generation. So yes, it was stinky, but it was a wake-up call. So stop CPV!
Get off the egos, that isn't legal. Hey, Mr. Cuomo.